Travelling the world is something a lot of people dream of doing and sometimes get an opportunity to actually do. Meeting new people, experiencing new cultures, broadening the mind, there's a lot of reasons someone would actually want to go travelling. For Lisanne Froon and Kris Kremers, they could never imagine that their trip to Panama would end with them never coming home. This is Nightmare Factory, and today we will look at the disappearance of Kris and Lisanne. Kris and Lisanne, two young girls from the Netherlands, had just finished university and had saved up for 6 months to travel to Panama to improve their Spanish and also work with the locals, specifically helping children there. Kris and Lisanne arrived in Panama in March 2014 and had travelled for 2 weeks before settling with a small family in the small town of Boquete. On the morning of the 1st of April, they decided to go hiking with the family's dog that they were staying with, and it is expected they probably wanted to hike the trail of Pianista. Later that night, people started realising something was wrong when the dog turned up at the house without Kris and Lisanne. The next morning, the girls had a scheduled appointment with a local tour guide which they didn't show up for. It was then that the family became concerned and contacted the local law authorities, who began an aerial search of the supposed area of where the girls went missing. Nothing was found, no evidence, no clues, nothing that gave a hint as to what happened to them or where they went. On April the 6th, 5 days after the girls went missing, their families boarded a plane with detectives who conducted a search for 10 days and couldn't find anything at all. The search for the girls had slowed down as time went on. Nothing was coming up at all, and police couldn't afford to keep searching for them with the same intensity that they had at the beginning. After 10 weeks had passed, however, a local woman brought a backpack to the police, which contained 2 pairs of sunglasses, Lisanne's passport, 2 bras, $83 in cash, a water bottle, a camera, and both of the girls' phones. It was then that the police were shocked to find that the phones had been in use for 10 days after the girls disappeared. The first use of the phone, and perhaps one of the most strange, was 5 hours after the girls set off on their hike. An attempt was made at 16:39 from Kris's phone to Dutch police on the 1st of April that never connected due to a lack of signal. This clearly shows that the girls were in some kind of trouble just hours after setting off. Multiple attempts were made going forward, both to Dutch police and local police in Panama, but to no avail. One attempt did connect, but disconnected after a second, again due to the poor signal. Now, multiple attempts were then made to check for signal, including right up to the 11th of April, 10 whole days after the girls disappeared. One of the most peculiar things, however, was the wrong PIN codes entered into Kris's phone. On the 6th of April, specifically on Kris's phone, the PIN started being input wrong into the phone and was never successfully unlocked until the police found it. So why all of a sudden was a different PIN being entered into the phone? Now, there are a couple of logical explanations to this. It could have been that Kris had maybe passed out and Lisanne was trying to unlock the phone to call the police, as Lisanne's phone had died on the 5th of April, a day before the wrong PIN attempt started happening. It could have also been that the girls were delirious and dehydrated, confusing them as to what was going on, as police only found 1 bottle of water in the backpack that was recovered. Now, I will come back to what could be another theory on the wrong PIN entries, but not until I talk about what else the police found. Pictures on the phones. Pictures were taken on the day the girls went missing, posing with scenic backdrops behind them. Going by the cell phone records, this photo was taken less than 2 hours after the first attempt was made to emergency services. A few more pictures were found of the girls and the trail they took before they went missing, but it wasn't until detectives found at least 90 photos taken starting from 8 days after they both went missing. Now, these are some of the photos that were found. Now, a lot of the photos that were taken were in complete darkness, an unknown location, but one photo did appear to show Kris with blood coming from her temple. One of the strangest things with the pictures is that they were numbered in order of when they were taken, from descending to ascending. The peculiar thing is that image 509 had been deleted and was missing. Now, this photo was in between the last picture they took before they went missing and the first picture they took 8 days after going missing at night. If something had happened, why would the girls go through the effort of deleting a photo they took on the phone? The picture was never recovered and never found by detectives. Now, with this discovery of the backpack, police decided to look again in the surrounding area. 2 months after the backpack surfaced, unfortunately a foot still in a shoe as well as a pelvic bone and other bone fragments had been found. DNA tests concluded that the foot belonged to Lisanne and the pelvic bone belonged to Kris. Evidence had been found that the girls had passed away. One peculiar fact is that other bone fragments found did not belong to either girl and were never concluded as to who they belonged to. Now, what is confusing about the remains that had been found was that Kris's pelvic bone that had been found appeared to have been bleached, as it was perfectly white. There was no marks on the bones found whatsoever, and why were other bones belonging to other people found with them? Neither Dutch nor Panamanian police and investigators could determine a cause of death, as no other remains had been found. Dutch police reportedly felt as though it was caused by a hiking accident, whereas Panamanian police did say it could have been a criminal act. The case was closed after forensic teams could never come to a conclusion. Now, this brings me back to the wrong pin entries and ties in with the deleted photo. What if a third party was involved? The girls could have easily been followed and murdered by someone, especially considering where the girls had went missing and how remote it was. That also ties in with the wrong pin entries and the deleted photo on the phone. I do find it strange that other remains were found with the girls that never belonged to them, and especially the deleted photo. Who did these bones belong to, and why would the girls go through the effort of deleting a photo on the phone? Unfortunately, we may never know what happened to the girls, and I can only hope that they are in a better place and that the families will one day hopefully find peace. I hope you all enjoyed this and that it piqued your interest as much as it did mine. Please comment below what you think happened, and subscribe if you enjoy content like this and want more creepy, unsolved mysteries. This has been Nightmare Factory, and I'll see you all soon.